Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Speed Gaming fans. Oh boy, do we have a treat here for you all today. The GOAT, Oats and Goats on your right, Eddie, arguably one of the greatest Super Metroid runners and rando runners. We got a powerhouse event here. And of course, joined by Aussie. Aussie, didn't I just commentate with you like less than 24 hours ago?
Oh yeah, map rando. I'm there.
Absolutely. Map Rando
Things either.
always. Yep, Map Rando always a good time, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of things because I get a funny feeling, Aussie, and I'm just gonna call this right now. Would not surprise me to see some harder than hard level tricks out of both of these runners.
Yeah. A lot about racing these is knowing what you can do and doing it because it's gonna be fast. Logic is there just to be sure that you can finish a seed, but a race means you have to go fast, and that means taking shortcuts. But we should be close to starting now. I just have to make it through the stream delay.
That is true. So for those that aren't aware, there is a 10-minute stream delay. And the racers have already been racing in the race time room for 10 minutes. So, like, if you've been listening to Aussie and I throughout, this entire week of qualifiers, this is qualifier number 5 of 8. We've been talking here about being able to participate in the qualifiers and get on the restream. But Aussie, save early, save awesome, often. Okay.
Yeah, just find the map station immediately.
Ridley and criteria. This is a small criteria, considering what we have seen throughout quite a few of these qualifiers. It really is. We've seen some very large criterias. Heck, we were just commentating last night. We saw, giant West Ocean and North Ocean hold a good chunk of how we had to proceed 40 plus minutes into the seed. Here, very interesting to the fact of not a big criteria. Exciting to see what this map rando has in store.
Yeah, normally the regions are going to be ordered like in size based on the number of rooms that are in the region, and then criteria is going to be in the middle. So there's not going to be like too much variance in if a region is big or small, but there's some. And we have speed booster start with an E-tank.
We'll take it.
So that's going to unlock both of the top entrances, because the short charge on top of the hill up here is in hard logic, but you could also shine spark to the very top right.
Obviously, the racers can't get to Ridley. You cannot defeat Ridley. You can get to that hollow dot top right, which looks like where Oats wants to go, also with Eddie. We need power bombs to get that next major in Big Pink. Oats heading to the left, Eddie headed to the right to the hollow dot. And it's our first pack of supers.
Yeah, in the first 2 minutes, like we're in now, hollow dots are just as important as majors. It makes sense to just pick that up.
Hopefully it's not going to be another 40 plus minute seed before we see our first power bombs.
That could happen on just about any seed, but we're not expecting the finish times to be all that long with these two runners. These are two of the best. So it should be like hour 10 at worst. Unless it's a truly bad seed.
Which is quite possible. We've seen a couple of weird ones. So, for those that are just tuning in and have no idea what we're talking about or what this tournament's even about, there are 8 qualifiers for the Speedgaming Live 2024 Map Randomizer Tournament. And basically how this works is you've competed in at least 2 qualifiers, and if you compete in just 2, your times that you finish are averaged together, thus going to eventually get you your seed placement. Aussie, tell us about if they race a third time, what happens?
If you race a third time, then your lowest score will be dropped, and then your remaining times will be averaged together for your total points. If you race more than 3, then only your lowest will be dropped, and all the other races you do will be averaged together. So it is definitely advantageous to race in 3, but if you go more than 3, then it'll depend on how your earlier races were and if they're worth improving.
You could definitely risk having a higher seed. And speaking of higher seed, hello, high jump boots.
Yeah.
I swear, folks, some of these times when you just commentate, stuff just happens.
Grapple.
We'll take that.
Yeah, so we don't have Morph Ball. That means you can't check the other item in high jump. Grapple could lead to this high jump boots. I think the runners are a little confused right now. With the...
And I sound a little weird. I think I know where that grapple wants us to go. Eddie found...
I pitched my idea.
So, Eddie found in Norfair... I don't know the name of the room, but right before Lava Dive, there's the wave gate, and then there's that long room with the grapple beams on top. We can get through it now with the grapple beam.
Right. So that room, it takes about 100 health to do it really well, a little less. And so with the E-Tank, it's going to be in logic, even with the heat modifier, or leniency modifier. But it does mean that there needs to be a refill on the left side.
Yep, and see that... oh! No! Okay, Everest.
Okay. This is the kind of seed we're getting today, is it?
Apparently. We're getting roots. Yeah, and of course, the map station's there and we don't have Morph Ball. Alrighty then. Eddie, you don't have Morph!
Yeah, what's he thinking?
Eddie!
It does get a free health drop. Needs to remember that you can't grapple jump. That's something that a lot of runners really like to do to move around this room.
Absolutely.
But no Morph Ball.
Eddie trying to get up, and does. Nicely done.
This will lead into high jump. And they cannot get the item, but they can see it.
It's a power bomb pack, and we want that.
Yep. Not right now. Gotta come back. Eddie, a little frustrated with the seed. Just throwing supers.
So there is a major back in Criteria that's power bomb locked. So seeing those power bombs would allow the racers to head back to Criteria and get it.
Grapple will also help with this room. Yeah,
absolutely. I was gonna say, so we needed that grapple for literally 3 rooms straight.
It's taking a different path, which has its own challenges and interesting qualities. So X-ray fire fleas was not the answer.
No, this is clearly how this seed is gonna go, isn't it? Just gonna be so rude.
So, the crate entrance here that Oats is on, it's actually pretty important to know how to jump through to, leave one of the super blocks up. In this case, it doesn't matter because there's going to be cags here to refill your supers.
Yep.
But you can't expect you to use 2 each way. And that's another early map.
Okay, huge Turian. Mother Brain and Turian, what a surprise. But I see a lot of holodots here. I see at least 2 majors. I don't see any bosses besides Mother Brain. So it's just looking at it like, do I try it?
I don't think
Depending on how you get to that dot on the far right, Aussie.
No, I don't think you can do anything here.
No.
I think this is a morph tunnel on the right. And a wrong way green gate above it.
And he found morph.
And then up the elevator is screw attack room, and you need a way to break the blocks as well as other stuff.
Yep. That morph coming in huge for Eddie. Folks, you just don't understand how important morph is to the entire complexity of any Super Metroid run. It's so important.
Oats not heading towards Morph, though. And check out the other path. We have a slow path going this way.
Eddie also choosing to not head towards Torian.
Yeah, so Eddie knows about the map and the power bombs, and it's really worthwhile to get the power bombs.
Yep.
The map is pretty dangerous because you don't know if you can get back up from the bottom left door. It's very likely that you can, but there's a chance that you can't.
I'm wondering if this is Fantoon's. No, it's not. Okay. So, let's see. We got Dragon.
And Eddie can get back up.
No, I don't see a lot of majors here, Aussie. But a lot of holonuts. Eddie's thinking about going back for that major.
That is Worstrom and Ridley at the top right of criteria.
Terrible.
So that's something you have to leave until the end of the seed. Do everything else first. But you do want to get the major that's in Big Pink.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Eddie should get the power bombs and then get the major. And then
I'm going to go with
be
the
looking at the
gravity
map.
suit. I just got a feeling we're going to find the pancakes.
We saw high jump already, right?
Yes, we did.
Oh, so that's another one that we want to pick up. It's just the one you take. Kind of hard.
It's just like I knew it.
Yeah, that's the last thing that Oats could have done.
Yep.
Maybe bottom right of Everest would have been possible.
Possible. You saw the grapple jump that Eddie just did. That, of course, that Aussie talked about a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, so grapple jump is expert level trick. But there's not many places where you actually need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Everest
just feels
is a big
faster.
one.
Like, it just feels faster in Everest.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just fling yourself up.
All right, so we see the high jump boots right there. Eddie's already saw it.
Yeah. So Eddie's going to be ready to both spike suit and underwater wall jump through the rest of the seed. Just a minute. And then we'll see what risks Oats decides to take.
So Eddie wants that high jump. He's going to go through this room. It is logical. You got all the required items to do it.
Yeah, you just don't fall and you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can track a button for you.
Yep, you can't go back through the room. You don't have the required energy because you don't have Varia. But at the very least, go grab your high jump and move forward. Now what we're going to see is Eddie's going to head back to Big Pink, most likely, and grab that other major item.
Yeah, the other major was the easier one to pick up. So it might have been a better routing idea to get it first.
We're about to see it here.
This should be considered a free pickup, so it should be a filler item. But it doesn't have to be.
It's screw attack.
No? Yeah, screw attack's pretty good.
We take that, folks. We take that. Oats is actually going to head back to Torian with that morph. So Oats will be without high jump.
Wait. He doesn't have power bombs.
Nope.
So
I
he still
don't
can't do
think
anything
Oats
here.
ever peaked power bombs.
He did. It was right behind Eddie. But there's nothing to do this way without power bombs.
Sorry, Aussie. I was laughing because Smellin made a funny in chat. Smellin says Eddie using split screw. DQ.
Oh, you're right. He's always testing the rules. That Eddie.
All right. Billy
E-tank
Mays
super,
items.
very nice.
We take those. Another energy tank and more supers.
The energy tank is probably more useful currently. Because one super pack is kind of enough to do everything you need.
Yep.
We know we don't need like Ridley ammo anytime soon. But the
Pizza, that's
E-tanks
why-
are going to unlock heated rooms.
Mm-hmm. Pizza, that's why I said it was a joke. I said smell and made it funny. Well, folks, while we're here, on behalf of both Aussie and I, and everyone at Speedgaming, thank you for tuning in. We know it's, probably still a good chunk of the workday for a lot of you here in the United States because it's only 3:25 p.m. Eastern. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching both of these runners. And obviously listening to the dulcet tones of Aussie. Obviously being one of the developers of Map Brando. And if you like what you see, there's still 3 qualifiers left. Qualifiers 6, 7, and 8. And Eddie very carefully just getting out of that room.
Living.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. So we're on hard, tricky settings. If you two, again, you want to get involved, head over to maprando.com. And by heading to maprando.com, you can see the list of tricks needed to know and to understand to be able to go and play in this mode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty fun. I've done some Map Brando seeds. I think it was the easy or basic. Even that is just, it's so fun and unique.
See what we have here. Oh, X-ray. I kind of expected a good item here because Eddie went through first room in the game, and that would be out of logic, I think. But worked hard for this X-ray. We're seeing Oats kind of in shambles. Does not have the power bombs, and that's a pretty important item to pick up. He's seen the room and knows that's a hollow dot, but isn't heading towards it.
Nope, but gets his high jump boots, which is very important. So Eddie picking up X-ray will come in handy, obviously, if we have charge or plasma.
Yep. X-ray also used for ice clips and snail clips in hard logic because it gives a 6-pixel window on the clip compared to a 2-pixel without.
Oh, nice. Did not know that. Now I do.
Yep. That's why it's treated separately, because it does give that extra leniency.
And finally, the first missile pack of the game.
Yeah, 16 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of the early items are going to be reserved for progression, and so that'll be like your early majors. There's always going to be an E-tank in the very first filler item location.
Yep.
And then there's another pool of just filler items that includes missile packs, but that doesn't mean you have to get one early on. Plus, they're also going to be avoiding the missiles since they're low value.
Oats finally heading for the map station.
Yeah. I did save before coming back here. And then also with high jump, it's completely safe to check this with his skill set.
It's quite possible Oats has forgotten all about that hollow dot up there. It's power bombs.
It's looking that way. It's very important to pick it up, but with high jump there might be ways of forcing a way around it. But sticking on the map screen for this long is not a good sign.
No. Now Eddie's back in Tori, and Oats has the map info here already, but Oats didn't have the required items to make their way to the right here. There's Kraid, upper right turret. Wow, was Kraid out of the way with?
There's her underwater wall jumps on Oats' side. Is not using spin lock and is on a controller, so this is very difficult to do. But expect him to get up pretty soon. The other alternative would be to go down the bottom left door and gravity jump. But we have Eddie chasing majors here. Up being Torian. Yeah, the major that we saw is the most difficult room is going to be East Cack Alley, and with high jump and morph, that's enough to do the room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's also this other room to the right that I didn't see.
The major I figured he'd be going for.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to get to. But if it's easy to get to, it means it's going to be lower value.
So that's Ice Beam.
Ice Beam? Ice Beam's not bad. Pretty good.
Yep, it's a nice beam. Oats finding his way over to Aqueduct with still no power bombs.
Yeah, so the sandpit does have a hollow dot, and he can use an expert level trick to get it. And that's the break free. So this is part of what I mean, where with high jump, more things are possible, but they're not going to be logical. And there's a reserve
hollow dot.
And then the way out is going to be harder as well. Supers.
It's not what Oats was hoping for. And Eddie finds the second power bomb. Oh! There you go.
Yeah, taking
Eddie's
an
good on power bombs.
Power bomb lead.
Huge.
Kraid looks hard to get to.
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses how many E-tanks it would take to reach Kraid?
I need to see the map again.
There you go. Plus has ice, so that'll help get him there.
That looks at the Dakara room.
That is Chronic.
Yeah,
Fast Ripper, Single Chamber, and one more.
Wasn't sure if that was Chronic Boost or the room out where you get, get to wave. I think he's gonna go for it.
He does not have a Crystal Flash, actually. Needs another Missile Pack. With the
Eddie
Crystal
has
Flash,
to be
he could
careful.
do it. I don't think it's too important if you just leave.
Oh my
right
gosh.
behind you.
Oh, that's just bad. Damn.
Yeah, you gotta be special kind of unlucky to...
That's just bad. That's just... It wasn't even Oats' fault.
It wasn't.
That was just
Turret
so
was ready.
bad. All the man wanted to do was jump down and blow up the turrets on the side, not get hit by one.
Yeah, killed it as fast as he could. And the turret still had an answer. Oh, Eddie's actually going for Kraid. We'll see if he can do it. So there's high jump again. Sets. The refill room is to the right, but then the baby room is right after it, so that's a difficult refill to keep. You can use the fast ripper room as a refill instead.
Not a bad idea.
But it'll be interesting to see if he can make it. This is enough health
Chronic.
for Chronic.
Mhm. Okay, Eddie's out of the heated rooms.
Yeah. So here's a new bridge. It's a pretty good farm room.
Absolutely.
A lot of enemies. They're going to be dropping energy. There's also a save here. More so for the way back.
If you all are unfamiliar, those green cacks will drop supers unless you're full. They're a great... Those green cacks are fantastic for super refills. Like, if you watch any percent, like, you'll normally see the runners destroy that last cack before that save room, grab an extra super on the way up.
And you know what happens when you're full on supers? They're going to drop big energies.
Even better.
Mock droids don't have as great a chance of supers, but still pretty good. Mock droid does 90 damage, I think. So gotta be careful.
Alright, here we go. And gets
close again.
Beautiful ice clip.
That ice clip is in hard logic.
Eddie made it to Kraid.
Yeah, made to Kraid. That means should be able to make it back out. But actually, on the way out, you have to do fast rippers with the gate glitch, and you're not going to be getting the health drops that you did on the way in.
Right, because you have to refill those supers. Just like green cacks, those fast rippers do automatically drop supers first, I believe, right? And then also big energy.
That's right.
Yep. Beautifully done. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, with the knee tank, it'd be fine.
Yeah, rewarded with the energy tank on the way out, and Eddie's gonna thinking about going after these missiles, but that's I'm wondering if that's reserve tank room.
Yeah, it's reserve tank room.
Yeah. Oats not happy with this map layout.
Yeah, actually, you would go for those missiles if you want a crystal flash. And you have a decent health refill out here. So it wouldn't be wrong to get that. But Oats really not seeing it. And gonna be aiming to run a third qualifier, I want to say. And maybe try and get this run dropped. Because he's not having a good time. And on Eddie's side, we're seeing very solid gameplay. Like identifies what he wants to do, just pulls it off without really any issue. And then I don't recall if we've seen what the major was over here at the Green Pirate Shaft. But that should be where he heads next. And that's a large part of why you would try to routing Kraid right now, instead of putting it off. And you want a gravity jump here. Oh, wrong room.
Hello, missiles.
Second missile pack.
10, 10, and 20. What is that super? I keep trying to think of what room that is.
Oh?
Yeah, Eddie.
He has to baby skip now.
Oh boy.
Does know that this is a health refill.
Right.
Yep. So the The plus icon is going to be the energy refills, and then the missile pack icon that I call a rocket ship can be the ammo refill stations. It does have high jump and speed, so should be able to do this without much trouble. But then when you don't have a good
closer
beam,
and closer.
it can take a lot of tries, a lot of jump ropes.
Oof. Okay. Good job, Eddie.
Yeah. So if you get grabbed there, then your health goes to 1, and the next room is a heated room, so you die instantly.
Yeah, you get to go backwards and do it again.
So while the moonfall was cool, he did have to retry it. You just see how much momentum you get when entering a room with like a gravity jump.
You can tell Oats is frustrated that he's just not sure where that progression's at.
Yeah. So like when you don't know what to do next, you're gonna do everything that seems possible, even if it's, you know, it's not logical.
Oh, that's
And then
this
at some point, you retrace your steps and revisit rooms you've already been in.
Yep. So Spring Ball, nice item to have. Not necessarily the progression we want, but it's a nice item to have. Especially if you want to do, you know, underwater gravity jumps and stuff like that. You do your Spring Ball tactic. It isn't... Eddie, I gotta ask the question. Is that the item that's kind of forcing these runners to go fight Dragon?
Dragon wouldn't be in logic in herd without gravity.
Got it.
I think it might be possible to have like 70 tanks, maybe more, and do the grapple kill. But that'd be the only way.
It's the only other way.
Actually, microwave would be somewhere.
Yeah, you could also
exactly
grapple jump out, but yeah, you're right. We need gravity to be able to do that.
Grapple jump would be probably expert. Double springboard jump is expert. Oats is in the high jump energy tank room.
And Oats finally finding power bombs. And folks, you saw his reaction when he saw it.
Yep. Forgetting items just happens to everyone at some point.
Yep.
You hate to see it.
Chad is very excited that Oats finally has power bombs. So Eddie's gonna grab both of these hollow dots here in Mama Turtle room. Yep. And it's a super missile and an energy tank. I like this. 15 supers, 20 power bombs, and now we have 4 energy tanks and a reserve.
Right, so again, supers are good to have eventually, but energy tanks are good to have right now. And later on are going to be worthless when we find the suits. From here, saving, very smart before going into your new region.
Hey, listen, I said earlier, save early, save often, and find the map stations. It's the name of the map, Rando.
Yeah. So in this case, he's going to go into the wreck ship region, and then cross, we don't know how many rooms to find the map station.
Yep.
It looks like it is right here.
Don't know how many rooms right there.
It could be any number between...
Yep. And that's the last map station, too. The last map station we're going to encounter is going to be the deactivated Fantoot map station. We found all the activated ones.
Yeah, so there's a lot of majors here.
Really is. Which is a good
the majors are going to be the The big circles, the big filled in circles. And those are mostly the items on the tracker.
4 of them here. Terminator's 1. I saw there were 3 others. Eddie's gonna head for all of them. Could be double suits. Could be some beams that we really haven't seen yet.
Oh, he's showing off the Beat on Mice clip. This is in hard logic. If you have X-ray. It's something you don't normally see. But it has a use here. You can climb up through the crumbles. So like logic is going to put items in two-way reachable places. So up here is popular because you can jump up through the crumbles and then fall right back down.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's the way you need to go. Eddie's now just gonna cross this. Ooh, it's the back gauntlet room. So Eddie is gonna be very careful here. That acid still does a lot of damage.
Charge beam. Worth the trip.
Absolutely.
And then Oats didn't have the extra E-tank that Eddie had, so not likely to go for trade right now. Let's mark that.
Not necessarily a bad thing, Eddie, when we think about both runners having to go back to criteria to defeat Ridley. And
yeah, when you see Ridley that early, you just have to leave him and come back when you're overgeared.
So Oats can go later. Ridley into Kraid. Kraid being the last one again. We know Mother Brain is right there. Eddie spent a lot of time in Turian getting a lot of those hollow dots. We'll see if Oats ends up going for the same thing.
So it looks like Eddie could have gotten more hollow dots on the way to charge. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know that what he did was the better way to play.
He got a lot of them in Turian.
Yeah, but they're good to have.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying, with Oats knowing he's probably way behind, he might be taking just a couple more chances and boom! Charge plasma plus X-ray. Folks, you know what that means. And there's regular bombs. That means we got some possible microwave action happening.
Yeah, and it's early enough.
Microwave Fantoon.
He was jumping to a crab.
Mm-hmm. Maybe microwave some mac and cheese. Okay, not the mac and cheese, but I'm hungry.
Yeah, Dragon Fantoon. Definitely need to kill them, so you can get some time save with that.
Absolutely.
There's a handful of other uses for it that are less likely to be seen.
Vanilla missiles at Main Street and Wave Beam. And that will complete the best beam combo in Super Metroid.
And there's still another major here at Early Supers.
Yep. Loaded. Absolutely loaded is the wreck ship with great majors.
No suits, though.
Rude. For sure.
Yeah, so he's going to want to Crystal Flash this.
Yep, Oats is going to grab Screw Attack.
So Volcano Room, if you enter from the top, is not heated. But lava is still lava. And on the way back, the room will be heated.
Eddie, please.
You want to bounce on the lava with Space Jump. Unless he's trying to damage down. You never know.
Yep. Eddie's gonna Crystal Flash. Crystal Flash and takes out the crab at the same time. Nicely done.
Yeah. It just wasn't safe to try and run through Volcano Room with a little bit of health.
Yep. Nicely done, though. So Eddie now has completed the most powerful beam combo in the game: charge, ice, wave, and plasma. Sorry, Spazer truthers. Spazer fans.
Yeah, with these items, like he has high jump, spring ball, ice, and that's really good water movement.
Absolutely.
Or it's enough that you can do any water room. It's not going to be fast or anything, but you can do any water room. The heat rooms with these items, you can do pretty much all of them. We've seen some of the bad ones already, but Ridley's a little rough because he's right next to worst room. But exploring the world should be fine with these items. But I think it's still good to search specifically for suits still, and not like try to skip them.
Oh, I agree with you.
There are seeds where the better play is to skip suits, so you have to be willing to try and go for that.
We're hoping this seed isn't one of them.
Yeah, it does depend where they are.
And the reason I say that is
massive damage.
And Oats getting X-ray. We have a lot of great movement tech, like Aussie said. But obviously, any of the two suits is just so much beneficial to have, and with the amount of heat rooms that we've seen, in my opinion, I want to see Varia before I see Gravity.
Yeah, Ridley is always a big problem.
Yep.
But there's ways around water rooms.
Oh, and it's Spazer.
So that is every major except the suits. How about that?
Yep.
Another early map. These have been all early maps. That's one like big way to get low seed times. Because if you have the map, then you know how to route and can avoid unnecessary room visits.
And one of the big things that Screw Attack comes in handy for is those... I won't swear on stream, Aussie, but those bleeping key hunters.
There's the two suits.
There you go. We know what bombs are. The two suits are the only items that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
So, what the heck does that mean in Meridia? Fantoon?
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen Dragon.
We have seen Dragon. We've seen Ridley. We haven't seen Fantoon. And again, we haven't seen the map station yet either. The deactivated one.
Yeah, that's always going to be next to Fantoon. So this is a double suit skip.
So that's an interesting strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that? So just to like give people a bit of a heads up, Eddie already spotted the last suits, but again, I don't think Eddie's peaked bombs yet. Oats has. I don't think Eddie's peaked bombs, but
I think Eddie has.
You think?
Yeah.
I forget which one saw bombs. Might have been Eddie. Either way, by skipping suits, you are having a really hard Ridley fight. And you will need 6 energy tanks minimum to defeat Mother Brain.
Yeah. Hey, he's already there.
It's true.
But it's going to need more energy than this for Ridley.
Yes.
Or supers.
Eddie saw it with X-Ray. All right, thank you, Twitch chat. I know one of them peaked it with X-Ray.
So Eddie's going to want to pick up more hollow dots now.
Oats found Meridia.
Or either health or supers.
Okay. Oats and Meridia. That's kind of big because Eddie hasn't been there yet.
I mean, it's good for us. We get information faster.
Absolutely.
Oats has fewer resources that he has to work with. He hasn't been to the major dense area and picked up the quality of life items.
Yep. And folks, not that you all aren't probably following these runners already, but exclamation point or to follow. Exclamation point C if you want to follow. Big shoutouts again to all of you being here. We all greatly appreciate it. And let's show a little love for Aussie and the rest of the Map Rando development team, because they have been doing an outstanding job, and so this tournament is not disappointed because we have had, what would you say, Aussie, on average 20 plus racers per qualifier.
How many do I have today? 19 it looks like. So yeah, definitely more than 20 average.
So I think a couple of days ago we had 30 plus. Aussie's so nice. They named him twice, says Waternap in Twitch chat.
But yeah, turnup's been really good for the tournament. Kind of beating expectations.
Oh, absolutely.
So the next phase after qualifiers is going to be 32-person bracket. And these qualifier races are playing for seeding into the bracket. And then this is all part of the SGLIVE online tournament for Super Metroid Map Randomizer.
Eddie and Oats high-fiving.
Oats got a little bit more safety over here, so a little less scary coming back.
There's Ocean.
Yep. So Eddie knows that this is going to be the powered off map station.
Yep. So there's no need to go for it.
Yeah, doesn't have to cross the room. Tanks is good.
This has been a very good race so far.
Oh.
Oats did have that save.
Yeah. Lost the E-tank. But like, in really dangerous situations here in Meridia.
And the other thing that I think, we really haven't talked about as much, Aussie, but one thing when you're playing Map Rando is if you've either gotten a map room or you've already gone and explored some of the rooms and you've saved a while back, the game knows the rooms you've been in and doesn't take the map knowledge away from you. You don't have to go back and re-get it. Like you see on Oats' screen, he went straight up. He already had the ocean knowledge. He had the knowledge of heading into the deactivated map room. It's such a great thing and unique to Map Rando.
Yeah, I'm just watching Eddie's screen here, see if he dies in lava. But it looks like he's through. But yeah, keeping the map information, another heated room. It's not something that was there early on. Like it's a really interesting idea, being able to keep any kind of information after death. But like, the player knows what they know. So if you die, then what you've seen doesn't change. It's just the items and your resource state is changed. So by keeping the map information, you don't have to revisit rooms that you've already been through. And another related feature is that when you enter a room, it's going to give an outline of the entire room. And that'll just show the dimensions of the room and make it easier for connecting the room puzzle together.
Speaking of connecting things and making them easier, Fantoon making life very easy for these runners, considering Fantoon is at the top of North Ocean. So it'll be an easy drop to the map station, which makes life very nice for the racers. And there we go. Eddie's done with Fantoon, just like that. Aussie, can you believe it? A one-round Fantoon!
Yeah, this guy's a pro. Eddie's been to GDQ, you know.
I know.
Yeah, Oats too.
Eddie,
Both there recently.
it's like we just watched that Eddie % race or something.
So Oats did not get the path to Fantoon, so it doesn't have the map information, and just running around blind, and that is not efficient.
Well, let's find out our map info, folks. We obviously know there's no majors here, and Eddie's seeing that, yep, there's nothing here. So Eddie, with 2 bosses down, knows where the suits are. I'm really wondering if Eddie's just going to even risk going back to Brinstar at this point. 6 energy tanks, 3 reserve tanks. Enough to beat Ridley, but we only got 20 supers, but again, we have the best beam combo in the game. Should be pretty close.
Yeah, he's already made the decision to not get suits. They were just too out of the way to be worth it. And this is a lot of energy resource. So, like, it seems like a fine fight. Like, one of the problems of Ridley in this seed is that worst room, which is
yes,
right next to him.
Kind of makes trying to go for the suits advantageous, but again, they're so far out of the way.
Yeah. Now, I don't think he needs gravity that much. The damage reduction is nice, but you don't need to go through too many water rooms from here. You go down through some to get to Dragon, and then get out. But it's not worth the traversal in picking up gravity. Okay, so what are we seeing on Eddie's side? Underwater wall jumps?
Yep.
Okay.
Almost at it.
I'm kind of watching to see if he's forgetting space jump, because it looked like he did earlier.
Twitch chat has very much continued to give Eddie crap for forgetting space jump.
Yeah. We were talking about split screw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Not helping.
Nope. Folks, if you want to play along and play some map rando, I can't stress it enough. Go ahead, get involved. The top 32 times are going to make it to the bracket stage. Like I said, everyone has been having such a great time. Come join us, maprando.com. Join on over there. I don't want to mess this up, but I believe it's !SGL24 SMR in the Twitch chat can get you access to the Speedgaming 2024 Discord. And there it is.
Looks correct.
Didn't screw it up.
You got it.
It's a mouthful, but it's there. And Eddie, I was wondering if Eddie was going to get hit as fast as Oats did.
No, Eddie, arcade champion, knows how to dodge these turrets, unlike Oats. Oats only second place. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Another one down.
Well done. All right, Ridley is all that remains for Eddie.
Yeah, and Ridley's also the most difficult thing. So wish him luck.
Yes.
And then Oats, like catching no breaks, essentially. I went to Meridia, but there's no majors in Meridia. And you still want those majors for at least quality of life, but also to actually move around. So he's making do with low resources, a lot of farming, and just running into missile packs. Okay, so Oats does have a save. He's probably going to go for Fantoon right after this. Get the Fantoon kill, get the map.
Absolutely.
At least that's what I foresee as the plan. Oh, he's space jumping.
Eddie remembered he has space jump. Twitch chat, are you not entertained? Okay, maybe that was a bit much, but Eddie at least remembered he does have space jump.
Yep. It's gonna help speed up worst room as well. But this is not enough health on Oats' side. Yeah, so Pillar Room really fast, and to do it fast with Screw Attack, you have to do it in a particular way to avoid the fire snakes.
My fault, I didn't realize my gain was that high. My bad.
Go for a Shine Spark now, it looks like. Okay, so this will be it. Worst room into Ridley with 6+3. So it is good resources. And actually, that is a farm room on the right, if you really wanted to refill. Eddie in 80% mains the beam fight, but you'd also like have a setup that you're comfortable with for 100%, and that'll make up the difference. Oh, it get tailed, but that was a clean fight.
Yep. Those energy tanks could drain pretty quickly. And it's going to have just enough. So nicely done from Eddie. Let's get some shoutouts for Eddie in the Twitch chat. Nicely done. And Abel does not have to go back down through that again. Eddie is on to fight Mother Brain.
Mm-hmm. Could take a ship refill on the way. But basically, the trick to this pillar room is to stop your screw attack early by breaking spin. And then you don't have to wait for any of the enemies. Yeah, it can give us a crystal flash, and then we'll be right at Fantoon. Yeah, it's just on such low resources for so long. I wasn't able to get to any of the bosses so far.
So I was just going to mention this exact science. So for those wondering why Oats is pretty far behind Eddie at this point, Wrecked Ship turned out to be very major heavy, beam heavy, and I believe it's also where we got our space jump, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so it's just
a lot.
It's a little tough because there was such major heavy. It made Eddie's life a lot easier. The one thing Eddie didn't do was head to Brinstar, which is where both suits are. So, but again, this is why You should be doing 3 qualifiers ideally, but at the very minimum 2. Because if you have two good seeds and 1 bad seed, hey, look at that. The bad seeds dropped.
Yeah. It's
Also,
like going
the power
to
bomb
Meridia
incident.
versus somewhere else is just RNG.
Niru in chat saying the power bomb incident. I don't know if we should be calling it an incident, but I don't think you're halfway wrong.
Yeah. Missing power bombs was at least 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Lost. Can you give us a Doppler Phantom? His underwater wall jump on Eddie's side. He does like it so.
Yep. But said I've had enough of this and is going to do the screw ball jump anyway. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for all headphones users' ears. Apparently, that Are You Not Entertained thing was a little loud. And then I looked at my gain Aussie and I'm like, oh yeah, well that's probably the reason why.
Eddie giving us the Link / Scotty down back setup.
So pretty. Now's our chance to talk here about Mother Brain. There is a fantastic quality of life improvement here in the Mother Brain fight. Not only is Mother Brain 1 to 2 a heck of a lot faster, there's no Mother Brain 3 fights. We don't get to worry about the cutscene and then the Rainbow Beam fight at the end on Mother Brain 3. Super missiles do 2 times the damage onto Mother Brain in map rando. At the very least in these settings.
Yep. Normally, supers and full beam do the same damage per second, but here the supers are going to be doing double DPS. And that's it for the fight. Rainbow Beam does 600 damage per area. He's going to live with 4. And we're into the escape. Has to follow the same world map that we've been playing on for the last hour.
Yep, and here we go. At 1:40, really not surprising. It should be I'm going to say it should be a relatively faster escape, considering where Mother Brain is and where landing site is. We've seen some of these seeds that are, I think, 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah, shouldn't be too many pauses in this Torian section because he just... Well, actually, the whole path back to ship, he just ran because Ridley was over there. So he should be practiced in the rooms he needs to go through.
Yep.
Yeah, into the escape. Pausing is slow, so you want to avoid that. And if you can move fast, you go faster.
Absolutely. Eddie back in the north here, 1:03 on the clock to go. Eddie, you have space jump. Hey, he remembered.
Yeah. The escape, you have all the items, so you shouldn't forget they have space jump here. This is qualifier number 5. There's going to be 3 more. That is 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. There's still time to join the tournament. You just join by joining the qualifier races. Participate in at least 2. And that's Eddie into the ship.
Ta-da!
Winning the restream race.
GG's. Eddie not only winning the restream race with an official time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 39 seconds, but coming in 2nd place overall in this qualifier. GG's in the Twitch chat. Very nicely done. Oats still with 3 bosses to go. But does have Fantoon down, so it's not going to need to go back to Meridia. Which is pretty nice, honestly.
First and second, pretty close in this race. Spiffy Thomas, just a minute ahead.
Who came in first was Spiffy Thomas.
Yeah, Spiffy's been practicing Map Rando a lot, racing with us.
For sure. And here is the winner. What's up, Eddie? GG's.
What's up, guys? Aussie, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Jeez. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing okay. I got a little sick, so little warm, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Very good. Well, hopefully you feel better soon, Eddie. What did you think about that seed overall?
Let's see. I thought the seed was pretty cool, honestly. Fantoon was kind of in a weird spot, unfortunately. That was the last boss. It's one of those seeds that are a little interesting because you kind of have a lot of that boss information right away. So then you have to immediately think about, like, okay, this is my route, and then when you know where Mother Brain is in relation to the other bosses, very often you end up not actually doing the bosses because there's no reason to do them right away when you could do them on the way back. So I'd say the one thing I mainly regret, maybe, is although it must have been interesting for the viewers, but I think the Kraid kill I decided to do might have been a little ambitious early on. The idea behind that was, even though Kraid is kind of like quote unquote near Mother Brain, if I were to leave Kraid for later, it would technically be still a little bit out of the way because he is a little bit off to the right, and I just happen to be there at the moment. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'll do Kraid right now because I am as close as I'm gonna ever be right at this moment until I decide to come back. But with all the struggles I kind of had to do to make that work, I think it would have been better to just come back for it later when I have better resources. But that's probably the one thing I'm like, okay, I think I lost some time. Other than that, there was obviously the decision to skip the suits. At that point, I could pretty much deduce the last few majors as being suits, but it's one of those things that's really kind of hard to calculate. I knew that I didn't need to pick them up, basically. One little thing that was kind of factoring into my calculation also was there were 2 minor items that I could pick up by Dragon, but something I did not really think about was normally you could always get those with Speed Booster. I kind of forgot that, like, there were all water rooms, so we wouldn't be able to do that unless I got a spike suit, so that was part of the calculation on, like, well, I don't need any suits, and I just need either tanks or supers to make this comfortable for sure. But that being said, I still picked up like 9 tanks total, and we had full beam combo, so I was totally fine. I wasn't concerned at all.
Very nice.
Yeah, I knew that you didn't need gravity, but I was wondering how much value you were putting on Varia, because it did have the big heated room right in front of Ridley.
Yep, it was worst room in the game, so I was definitely aware of that. Funny enough, a recent race that we did, I had to kill Ridley on 4+1 with 30 supers, and I had to get through worst room in the game from the bottom with space, with hundo items, basically, high jump and screw and space jump. So I was pretty confident in that because I literally had to pull off probably the tightest sequence of that exact room into Ridley. Funny enough, the left room was exactly the same too. It was a sand pit. So I was pretty confident in that. I wasn't concerned, especially because I just had so many E-tanks, it wasn't really a big deal. If I didn't have, if I had less E-tanks and I didn't have space jump, which wouldn't let me kind of fly through that room really fast, then I might have been a little bit more concerned, but yeah, I know Spiffy ended up overall kind of winning this one, and I know he ended up getting double suit, so I would be kind of curious to see if I was able to get some of the suits, like how much of a difference that would be.
So that was one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you had all the information when you got to Brinstar that you knew the last 2 majors were both suits. Because like I was kind of thinking that, like, I was seeing Spiffy go first, you second, Andy's in third, and I'm looking at these times going, just by watching you and Oats here on the restream, who got suits, who didn't get suits, who played to those windows, like you said, you went up to worst room into Ridley with no suits. You saw it at the beginning. You know, we just saw Oats go through all those heated rooms as well. You went through them that way too without the suits. I'm really curious who got suits and who didn't, but were you just fully committed at that point to going completely suitless?
Essentially, because at that point I could basically deduce that that major was essentially a suit, because I had already seen every other major at that point. That's one of those things that's a little bit hard to gauge. I would say probably 95% of people, probably the vast majority of people, would just go and grab the suits. I think there's a few reasons why you wouldn't. You know, if you're someone like Aussie, you have a lot of RBO experience. You know, people that have lots of experience fighting Ridley under that kind of pressure. People that have, you know, speedran Super Metroid at like a higher level. I guess those are the people that tend to be willing to avoid the suits. But in the end, it's like choosing to avoid the suit there is not so much. It's kind of like, it's not like, oh, this is like, if I do this, I'm gonna win. It's more like, I think maybe I could save like 30 seconds versus like not getting the suits. That's kind of like the idea, at least. Obviously, the risk is going to be a lot higher, but I felt confident that like my risk was not that high given the resources I had. But it's hard. That's one of those things that's actually just really hard to gauge. But I would say the vast majority of people are getting suits there. Almost all people. I don't even know if not getting the suits were the right play, but hey, it was cool. I'm sure the viewers liked it.
Oh, it was fun. So I think we should kind of let you in on like why Oats is still going. Oats had a bit of an oopsie. You forgot about the power bombs early.
Yeah, I heard. I think I got to peek a little bit as I finished up, and I heard you guys talking about that. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. And you know, Eddie, as I'm sure you know, and Aussie can attest to this too, as map rando runners, sometimes that just happens.
Yeah. You know, that's the other interesting thing about, I mean, randos in general, map randos, you know, map randos and randos in general. I feel like, you know, I've talked about this with a lot of my peers and stuff like that. Sometimes map rando, like excelling in rando is not necessarily about like how well can you dominate a seed, like can you do the seed as optimally as possible, but like it's very often where it's like how well can you not let like these catastrophic mistakes happen sometimes. And Oats is like really strong. I mean, he came into the scene 3 races, wins 3 out of 3, which is like all of us, we were just like, what is going on? I mean, I know he's good at this game, but like without, you know, having like that racing experience, to win 3 out of 3 races was just, it's so crazy, right? But this is kind of maybe one of the situations where it may have just been slight lack of experience kind of thing. It's just kind of unfortunate. Like, you don't really want to win in this way. It always kind of sucks, but like every time he has a seed that kind of turns out like this, he's just gonna get like that much better. So if anything, like when we're doing qualifiers and when we're doing like pickup races, like in theory, like I would almost like feel better if like the seed like coddled him and then he like crushes the seed and then, you know, he doesn't learn from it or something like that, right? But like when he gets a seed like this and something like that happens, he's gonna remember it, right? And he's gonna learn from it, so he's just gonna get that much stronger next time.
Yes, so folks that are asking for stuff, it was posted by Pete, so join the Discord. All of the race information is in the SM Map Rando online tournament section. And also, come join. We have 3 qualifiers left. So, Aussie, any questions there for Eddie the Great?
Not really. Put on a very solid run. I was seeing that it looked like you pretty much knew how you wanted to play the seed and just executed it. So really well done.
Cool.
Thank you. Aussie, I have a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
Would you have gotten those suits? I'm gonna guess the answer is yes.
I think gravity would be like a dead item, so
Yeah.
I'd be weighing Varia, and if you have to get both of those, it's a really long time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was a little scared for the Grizzly fight.
Wasn't my... I think my Reese's were
something
pretty
I
good at
just
that point.
It was in the end.
Yeah.
I'm probably just not comfortable enough with Ridley right now.
Okay, so we're hearing from Andy in Twitch chat that they got Varia, didn't know which major was X-ray grabs, and they gambled on the major near Ridley being grabbed, which we know, Eddie, when you picked it up, obviously Oats did too before you had to reset, was X-ray. So Andy's saying gravity was much farther out of the way, so Varia seemed to have been the first major there in Great Star. Nice grapple kill from Oats.
All right, but yeah, I think I gotta rest up. But thank you.
Yes, go
for
rest.
Doing comms and everything. I appreciate it very much, and I still have more qualifiers to do. So I think this Sunday is when I'm gonna try to clean up the qualifiers.
There you go.
Yep. And,
Eddie, always a pleasure talking to you. Go rest up, feel better.
thank you, WX.
You're welcome. Later. And that was Eddie the Great. Oats with 3 bosses down. Now Oats is going to be facing the same issue that Aussie and I have been talking about with Eddie. Is going through worst room in the game to Ridley with no Varia suit.
Yeah, so Oats knows about the Ridley situation. So we've been up there, has the map. So he knows what he needs to finish the seed from here. But it's all about how he goes about getting there. Like, where does he look for the items? And I don't know if I've tracked everything correctly.
I think everything looks good.
But I think most of the majors he doesn't have were from a region he hasn't been to.
Remember, Oats really hasn't ventured into the wreck ship at all. That was the major rich heavy item. Major rich item heavy area.
Yeah, his tracker is looking a little bare still. He is picking up items. So when you're looking at the Ridley fight with that Varia, you want to look at damage per second. And supers are really good for that, but missiles are not. Like, normally missiles are a very solid damage, but you do end up taking a lot of just heat damage while using the missiles. So you're going to need more energy tanks than you do if you're relying on missiles. And then he also still needs like Mother Brain ammo and, you know, enough ammo to actually finish. So we're not quite there with that charge. Gonna show us the cool gravity jump you can do through Dragon's Rim. You don't need any items at all for this much runway. But you just jump straight across the rim. That's always cool to see. And we are going to follow along.
Always fun to see, Trick.
His thought process.
So we got a question, and I think this is good for us to talk about, Aussie. Waternap wants to know, what does Oats basically need for go mode? Supers, charge beam?
Ridley damage is kind of gonna have him set for finishing the seed. Like when he has enough Ridley damage, then he'll have enough for Mother Brain too.
And so that'll be 30 supers.
Yep, 30 supers. But if he's actually just out of items that he wants to pick up are out of hollow dots. And then goes into Wreck Ship, was it? That had the items?
Correct.
Then
Wreck
he was
Ship
running
had Charge,
to-
Wave, and Plasma.
Yeah. So that's something that could happen. So, he's already cleaned up most of these areas that he's been in. Like Cafeteria, Meridia. But he has many just untouched regions that have items that he could be getting. This can be Torian here. He's the map for Torian. I guess doesn't want to move too far away from Ridley right now.
Guess kind of makes sense. We know this room had one super.
Yeah, super and a reserve tank, I think.
Yep. Showing off the underwater wall jumps yet again. Nicely done. So let's get Oats one more super pack, and you can see Oats' reaction there on stream. Very happy about that. So now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aussie, I believe Oats is at the same energy in terms of tanks and reserves that Eddie had heading into the Ridley combo rooms.
Yes, that's correct.
So we know it's doable. Oats showing off that outstanding, beautiful gravity jump yet again.
Well, his ammo is pretty exact right now, but it is doable. Eddie used some charge shots.
Of
Got the
course.
difference.
And again, at the time Eddie went to go and defeat Ridley, had Charge Ice Wave Plasma.
Yeah, it doesn't have spring ball, so looks like it does have spring ball. The tracker doesn't have spring ball. Yeah, high jump spring ball are going to give you so much underwater movement that that's why you don't really need gravity. But gravity is still going to be a lot faster than having to do these rooms slow. But if he does actually kill Ridley with this ammo, then he does need more from Mother Brain. So I wouldn't have been correct in saying way to drill it. There's another hollow dot up by Ridley. There's a couple more items up there. I guess he wants to use those to finalize his ammo.
So for those that really love some Super Metroid action, I mean, who doesn't? We have more Super Metroid action here on the way as Oats makes his way over to Ridley. 3 Super Metroid Dash Randomizer Mystery Tournament games today. This is week 4 for that tournament. There is a game at 5:40 p.m. right here on Speedgaming 2. On the main Speedgaming channel, we have a race at 6:10 p.m., so get in there at 6 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, we've got another Dash Rando tournament, also on Speedgaming. So just hang out in all the Speedgaming 1 and 2 channels. Got a ton of good races. Beep to the Bop versus Leslie Pro here in an hour. Zeb versus Kupo at 6. And Salmonster versus Cross Product at 8. All Eastern time.
Okay, let's see it.
All right, so Oats getting through the room.
All
Is
these
here.
missiles and supers is enough damage.
Oats obviously being the any percent world record holder. should.
Very practiced with everything.
I was trying not to say should be an expert at the Ridley fight, but very practiced is a much better way of putting it, Aussie.
It's actually like a different experience. The pseudos fight versus the 80% fight.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, like, being able to manipulate Ridley, get in the spots you want, to make sure you don't really miss with that ammo, is more what I was referring to. Very nice fight from Oats. Very clean.
Mm-hmm. No trouble at all. But...
Nope. Again, Oats knowing and having an idea of where to be able to go for that. Again, like, where to sit your spots up, where he might be swooping. Just a lot of really good, solid techniques there. And now Oats, with all bosses done, on the Mother Brain.
Skipping ammo.
Yeah, not the greatest thing in the world here.
He's a super pack short.
Mm-hmm.
And left behind a hollow dot and 2 missile packs.
Yep. So, question in chat from David. Hi, David. Yes, Eddie is done. Eddie finished in 2nd place in this qualifier. This is such a great community, Aussie. The Super Metroid community and the Metroid community overall are just outstanding communities. Like, I've asked questions on stuff that I'm trying to learn. Like, I got into some map rando, was getting into just some basic rando stuff and trying to learn basic tricks, and so many people. Just, there's so much information out there, and I can ask questions, and people are just so nice and kind to respond. So, if anybody wants to get involved in doing some randomizers and you think it's too intimidating, it's not. Because there are great people like Aussie, like Eddie, Oats, Anthony, Sunwoo Farmer, Lynx. Like, there are so many people to name. Just join the Discords. If you have questions, ask. There's tons of resources on YouTube. But if you want to get involved in this, again, we got 3 qualifiers left. Heck, if you just want to come in and try a qualifier to see how you do, come do it. It's open to anyone at any level, and we highly recommend you come and do it. Again, Aussie being one of the big brains behind this randomizer. I, for one, have been enjoying hanging out and, you know, doing comms with Aussie. I'm learning a lot just by listening to Aussie's commentary. And that's something else that, like, Aussie and I have been mentioning too. Like, the best way for learning this type of randomizer, or any randomizer in general, and you have questions about tricks, is listen to commentary. Watch the streams and listen to commentary. Because, like, Aussie's been outstanding at describing how some of these tricks are done. And that's the best way to do it. Aussie, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're just a lot of excellent sentiments coming out of your mouth.
Appreciate that.
And so, thanks for saying all that.
You're
I can
welcome.
agree with all of it. Super Metroid does have a fantastic community. I know there's a lot of work and love that goes into the speed runs and the randomizers. And then as well, these restreams that we have going on. Shout outs to people who are helping put those on. Right now, folks in the mystery tournament, they are more in the main phase of their tournament, so they have a lot more restreams going on. But if you do want to help out,
I'm sorry. Oats was trying to get the missile pack and kept bonking Samus's head off the ceiling.
Oh, Mama Turtle has like double supers, doesn't it?
Yeah, was a super and an energy tank.
Yeah,
So this is
super
exactly
energy.
what Oats needs to finish the seed.
Yeah, super's enough.
Yep.
Yeah, he was skipping like a lot of ammo after Italy and didn't have enough, but now he does.
Probably was confident that he could do it with the 45-25 that he had. So in these settings, to be able to defeat Mother Brain 1 and 2, you need 36 missiles minimum, 30 supers minimum with no charge beam. Also, can somebody clip, just take a screenshot of Eddie's side and how Eddie is just staring and looking into that speed booster? Could be a fantastic, funny meme. Just staring at that speed booster like, yeah, that's right, favorite Super Metroid item.
It is, though. He didn't give us any spike suits today. Was doing some underwater wall jumps, some unnecessary ice clips, but no spike suits. A lot of the time you can just end up losing time.
Yeah.
You overcommit to a trick.
And there we go. Mother Brain defeated. And yeah, there you go, spike suit time. Very, very nice. I'm kidding, don't actually take pictures of that. My goodness, I can see it going viral now. So Oats is going to have the same time to escape. Minute 40, I believe, was the timer.
Yeah, about that. And I already marked Oats as done since there is a stream delay when
Absolutely.
the actual race happens. And hasn't been joining us so far, so doesn't look like he will. And then we may just cut right as soon as he reaches the ship here.
Absolutely. I also don't blame him if he doesn't want to talk about that seed.
Yeah, definitely. This is the type of seed you don't want to talk about after.
Yeah. And like, I get it. I respect it. And I'll tell you a fun fact, and this is where something too when you're a broadcaster, shoutcaster, or a commentator, and I've learned this by shoutcasting a lot of Counter-Strike. If it's a tough game or it's a tough loss, there really, in my opinion, there should be no pressure of having anybody join that's not in the mood to talk about it, because then it's just a weird forced interview. Because like if it's a really tough loss, you could get that like emotion or whatever comes out of it. They just really don't want to talk. So no problem whatsoever. Oats not forgetting that he has space jump though.
Yeah, making a great time crossing the Everest Trail. So Oats is someone who, for a brief period, did spend a lot of time grinding the escapes, like setting the timer for the escape very, very low, and then just running the escape like the same one for hours at a time until he got it. That's way to just really improve your execution in this randomizer setting. Absolutely.
And that will do it. Oats is on the ship and has finished the CGG's Oats and Goats.
Yeah.
Oats finishes, and I think this is where like I would really love to talk to quite a few of these runners. Out of 19 entrants, Oats finishes in 8th place with an official time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 34 seconds. And we had quite a few did not finishes in this as well. Again, I think with those suits being as far out of the way with as they were, and like you saw Eddie coming in 2nd place at 1 hour 2 with no suits, Andy ended up getting Various suit at 1 hour 7. Spiffy, I have no idea if they got suits. I think it was a very interesting seed overall, Aussie.
Yeah. So like in map rando seeds, even if you do have some hiccups, routing and execution are both going to account for a lot of time save over a lot of people in these bigger races. So it can still place relatively high.
Well, Aussie, always a pleasure doing commentary with you.
Yeah,
anything
thanks
else you
once
want to
again
say to the fans?
for joining.
Of course.
Thanks to everyone for watching. Trying try out Map Rando if you want, and the remaining qualifiers are going to be this Saturday and Sunday. And you can tune in for those as well.
Yep, so let me give you all the times. Again, we've plugged it so much here. 10 a.m. start time on Saturday. 10 a.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern Saturday are the 2 Saturday qualifiers. The Sunday qualifier is a little different, later at night. 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So again, plenty of time for all of you to get on in if you want to participate. If not, we'll see you right here on Speed Gaming to watch. For Aussie and myself, WXFan21, we'll see you next mission.